Yeah, proud of the win. After watching the tape, I think how we won as a team is important. And I thought we played efficiently in the first half, specifically with the defense starting fast, getting going 3 and out. The special teams forcing a blocked punt right there. I thought that was a really good scheme by our special teams coordinator and really good execution by our special teams, which has been an emphasis for us all offseason. And then obviously the offense scoring right there. That was complimentary football at its finest and something that I really liked. I also thought the way we played at the end of the first half in the swing 8, going 14 points right there, we call that going on a run where offense scores, defense gets a stop, and then the offense scores again. I thought that was a decisive point in the game and very, very proud of the way that first half played out right there. Still a lot to improve on, and that's football, that's life, right? No matter what you do, you got to look back at it and figure out how we can grow. I didn't think in the third quarter we managed the easy very well, and that's exactly what I'm talking about as far as defensively. The first play of the second half we got a TFL, and then the second play we were in a drop 8 cover 3 and gave up the field flat for a first down that kind of was indicative of that entire drive. And then the offense, got the ball and got down to the red zone and, again, didn't execute or manage the easy, and then special teams misses a field goal right there. And so, obviously, those things have to get corrected. Can't, mismanage the game, obviously, right there. I think we only had 1 drive in the third quarter because of clock management and the way they were able to milk the ball. So a lot of things that we feel like we can really work to improve on, and that's our focus this week. On the quarterback situation, after watching the tape, I thought Brady played efficient. I thought he had good command, was especially good in the 2-minute drill, which was a point of emphasis for us. Obviously he had a couple of misreads. Felt like there was 1 or 2 opportunities to move the ball down the field in our play action game that we didn't take, but overall a solid performance. I thought Sam in his first extended period of college football was solid also. I thought the first throw he made on third down was an elite throw across the middle, and I thought he continues to improve with his reps. I was especially proud of the way he bounced back after the interception to continue to accelerate his growth and learning. I thought to finish on a touchdown drive, to end the game was really good and really proud of him. We will be moving forward with Brady Cook as our quarterback and quarterback number 1 while giving Sam opportunities to grow throughout the game. It won't look the same as it did this past week as far as maybe exactly equal first half and second half, but we are definitely committed to letting Sam continue to get reps and improve and grow. I think he's earned that opportunity, but I also think Brady Cook has earned the right to be quarterback 1 and take the lion's share of the reps, and so that's going to be how we operate moving forward. As far as Middle Tennessee, the series is tied at 1-1. In the past 2 games that we've played, Middle scored, I think, an average of 44 points in those 2 games. So certainly an offense that is to be respected, and we have got to play our best football defensively. It's a different style of game from what we played last week. Last week was multiple personnels, a lot of zone reads, a lot of keep the quarterback out of tough situations. This is not going to be that. This is a tempo-style offense led by Mitch Stewart. Mitch is a former head football coach at Murray State, runs the air raid, but you can tell it's Coach Stockstill's philosophy and offensive philosophy and aggressive tempo that's going to play fast, throw the ball vertically down the field, have a lot of counter read game in their run game situation. And so it's a totally different challenge for our defense and something that we have to be very prepared for. They've got really good skill, whether you look back at the Miami game for last year and how they were able to move the ball up and down the field, or if you watch just different games, including in the Alabama game, their skill speed stands out. And so it's something that we're going to have a big test in our secondary. From a defensive standpoint, Coach Schaefer, also a former head coach, is very multiple in his fronts and blitz packages. He's a heavy blitz team, very aggressive. And I think it's a product of how good of a coach Coach Stockstill is and how much command he has. His fingerprints are all over the program in philosophy design, play design. They're coming to win the game. They're coming to score points. They're coming to give their offense as many cracks at it as they can. And defensively, they're going to tie into that philosophy by being aggressive to get the ball back and blitz and force turnovers. So we got our hands full, and I know that our team is preparing to play the right way, and we got to have the mindset to play the right way. Anticipate another great crowd. The weather's supposed to be really good. I know that the ticket sales are above where they were for the opener, so appreciate our fans' support and appreciate them turning out. There's nothing like a Saturday night at Faurot Field, and so excited for this game on Saturday and look forward to a good test for our football team. With that, I'll open it up for questions.
Eli, we can tell everyone that Brady's going to move forward as the starter. How do you feel like that quarterback room, including Brady, kind of embraced that news?
Yeah, I don't think it'll much change from the way it's been progressing so far. I think there's a pretty good feel for Brady as being the leader in that room, and all those guys understand that how one quarterback plays a reflection of everybody in that room, and they've got really good camaraderie and leadership, and I don't think much will change.
Eli, I know we talked last year at times about Harrison's confidence when he had a few struggles. It never publicly wavers. Where do you feel like he's at, and do you see anything looking at the film that you've identified physically, or was it just a tough night?
Yeah, I think it was a couple of things that we're going to try to make some adjustments on. We're going to change our short snapper to Trey Flint to try to get more continuity on the ball placement. The second placed kick, the laces were back. We still need to make it, but that's a product of both the snapper and the holder have got to get that right for Harrison, and so we all take responsibility for improving our jobs on that. And then, I think we'll see if that makes the correction there. We still have confidence in Harrison, and we kicked yesterday. We're going to kick again today, and that's, again, everybody's got room to grow. It doesn't matter if you're a fourth-year senior or a first-year player. When you go out there, if it doesn't go your way, you go back to work.
Luther seemed a couple times when he popped up from big hits, seems to be maybe developing an edge about him. How have you seen him, his personality as a player, grow?
I think Luther's always had an edge about him. I think we were able just to refine it a little bit last year to not let it get too much. But I think he's always been a tremendous competitor, and I think that's his edge. I think we just have to make sure it's maintained in the right way and never demeans our opponent and always creates energy on our sideline or for ourselves.
You said that Sam would have opportunities to grow throughout the game. What does that look like? Is that him coming in later in the game with speed, or what's that look like?
No, it means that we plan on playing him in a series, at some point in the game. I can't define every situation for everybody, nor do I need to. It's just we're committed to letting him grow, and he's got to be prepared when his number calls. And when he's in there, we need to let it rip. We need to let it go just like he's the guy and give him the full account of the playbook. So.
Eli, what did you like what you saw from Mekhi Miller after watching the tape this week? Maybe taking on a bit of a bigger role this year.
Yeah, I think the same thing, consistency of performance. I think he does a nice job of being consistent, running the right routes, being where he's supposed to be. And there's still opportunities for growth. I think, he plays, he's one of three guys on our team that plays, I think, 3 special teams, or at least started on 3 special teams. And so that tells me he's got a tremendous buy-in to our team responsibility. But there are things that he's going to have to continue to improve on. I was appreciative of the hustle he did after the interception to make the tackle. Yeah, I thought both Jordan and Brett played well, considering that was their first career start, and obviously Jordan's only been playing college football, or only been playing football for two seasons, this being his second. Brett's physicality showed up in a good way. I think both of them have a consistency of performance, and that's the tale of the tape in college football. It's not about just the one play highlight. It's about consistently repeating that performance for however many plays you have in the game, and you're measured on that both as the quarterback and as the tight end or the offensive lineman. It's can you consistently be counted on to do your job? And those guys have got to continue to improve on their consistency.
Coach, I heard something that MTSU over the last couple of years has over like 60 takeaways. What makes them, so good to get those takeaways, and how you kind of avoid those?
Yeah, I think that goes to speaks to their aggressive nature of how they play defensively. So many blitzes, so many attempts on the ball forces the quarterbacks into throwing into blitzers and tip balls, or thrown into coverage, or strip sack fumbles, or other such issues. So we've got to protect the football. I mean, we have to. We've got keys in all three phases in order for us to win, and obviously, ball security is number one for the offense.
Coach, you talked about play action looks last week against South Dakota. What are you looking to see happen differently this weekend and beyond?
Well, I thought we ran the ball particularly well against South Dakota, and so obviously when you're running the ball effectively, it kind of depends on the style of defense. Do you get them to adjust, and if you do, how do you take advantage of them adding a defender into the box? Early in the game, we felt like we had a play call that potentially gave us the opportunity to take a shot over the top, and we missed that opportunity, and so we just got to be able to see it better and communicate that throughout the sideline to the quarterback as we go into that series. Hey, this is what we're seeing, or understanding a better understanding of when we make this play call. This is the reason why. It's because we're telling you we're calling this because we're seeing it. Whether or not we can actually tell you, if we would add headset capabilities into our helmets, which seems like a logical next step, that would be easier to do.
What did you see from your offensive line? What did you see to grow this week?
I thought there was a consistency of performance between the guys who have played a lot for us, Javon Foster, Xavier Delgado, and Connor Tollison. Xavier Delgado graded out the highest for us and was the offensive lineman of the game. I think both Armand and Cameron, consistency in pad level and footwork, I think the mentality was there. I think they tried to play really aggressive and really dominant, but even in your trying to play aggressive and dominant, you got to trust your training, you got to trust your fundamentals. And that's something that we can continue to grow. But overall, as a unit, I was really proud of the way they handled themselves in the run game.
How do you feel like both Cody and Nate have kind of grown together kind of since maybe last season was splitting the reps?
I think maybe there was a last year competition factor of, man, I want it to be me, 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 and I don't sense that this year. I sense it as a thunder and lightning compliment. They understand that nobody's going to get I think they understand both sides are going to get their opportunities, and I think they're playing off of each other in a positive way. They're both going to have their hands full this week in blitz pickup. I think this is going to be the most important blitz pickup week that we've had as a running back group, probably in the 4 years that I've been here. These guys pressure. They do a good job of pressuring the back. I specifically remember a play in the Alabama game where their linebacker blitzed through the running back and got to the quarterback and created a sack. So we have got to be really good in blitz pickup, which is, running the ball is great and that's awesome, but catching the ball out of the backfield and picking up blitzes is really the name of the game for elite running backs.
I feel like yesterday Coach Stock kind of talked about athleticism on defensive end and stuff like that. How do you think your defensive athleticism kind of matches up with their skill makers?
We'll find out. I do think they've got elite speed and size, and their tempo obviously gives us issues, or it has in the past. So it's a real challenge for us to not let the tempo be dictated to us and how we play. We're going to have to get the call, get our cleats in the ground, and play. So, as far as a matchup, you can only tell so much off of one game. You're really going to have to find out when we play.
Coach, who are some of the key offensive and defensive players for MTSU?
Well, on the defensive side of the ball, I think it starts with Zaylen Wood, the defensive end. I think their Sam linebacker, Jonathan Butler, who was injured last year, came back. He's the linebacker who specifically, I think, had the blitz sack versus Alabama. I think he's a really good linebacker. And I think the Deontay Stanley corner is long, and he does a nice job in coverage. I think he can play both man because of his length, but zone. He does a good job in their quarters game of being able to kind of influence like he's going to play the flat and get underneath some stuff. So I think those 4 guys or 3 guys are the ones that stand out to me. I think offensively, I think their quarterback does a really good job of running their offense. Obviously, was a bowl game MVP 2 years ago, so he has a lot of experience in playing. You can just tell his mindset. He's very aggressive. He's confident in the scheme. He's well coached. He knows where he needs to go with the ball. He knows how to get out of trouble. So I was impressed with them. And then their wide receivers, I mean, they've got some guys that can really run. Last year against Miami, they were playing a cover 3, and their slot receiver takes off right down the hash, and the corner's supposed to midpoint, and he's not fast enough to get there. And I know Miami's got real speed. So, we've got to do a really good job of rerouting on the slots, and we got to be over the top of plays. We can't give up vertical throws in this game.
I think it's a common theme this time of year that people like to look at their team and say, we didn't show very much in week 1 or 2. How do you guys balance going into early season games the idea that, hey, you've got to put a lot of things on tape, but maybe not more than you need to put on tape? Is that something you and Kirby ever talk about?
No, not at all. Nope. We only let the things that occurred during the game dictate the game. But we didn't save anything. We didn't hide anything. I know there's, oh, we don't want to put this on tape. I mean, you carry everything you need to win the game, but ultimately the driving factor is to win the game. And, we're 28-3 in the third quarter. We have already got a field goal missed. We drive down, we miss another field goal. That could have easily been a different type of outcome. We come out, we get a penalty, we're behind the chains, we throw an interception, and they score, so it's 28-10 at that point. That's really a 10-point swing there. At that point, you got to play to win the game, all right? And whoever's in, whether it's quarterback or scheme-wise, you got to understand, the most important priority at this point is to win the game. And so, however you call that game at that point, it is what it is.
Anything else, Coach? Thank you much.
Welcome, Dave Matter, to our program, MIZ.